go ahead and get started, just out of respect of everyone's time. We still have some people coming in, and that's fine. We can let them trickle in. Can everyone hear in the back? Okay, welcome to the public meeting of the Dinosaur-Longshore Switch 765 kilovolt transmission line project. This evening is hosted by a group of neighbors who are concerned about the proposed routes of the 765 kV transmission lines that have been routed by Encore and submitted to the Texas Public Utility Commission. These are the largest transmission towers in the U.S., and there are currently zero this size and capacity in the state of Texas. You'll see these for miles. Your land will decrease in value just being near proximity to them, let alone devalue your property if they end up on your land. We currently have 1 week to have our voices heard. There have been some that have sought legal counsel to intervene on their behalf, and many others just don't know what steps to follow. There's probably a lot of you in this room that don't know what to do, and that's what we're here for tonight. This meeting is for anyone that's going to be affected by these lines. We also have it streaming. We're going to upload the video on YouTube, and we'll have it posted on Facebook if you want to share this video with other people so they know what to do. If you look at the mapping, we have the mapping here on this, on the screen up here. I don't know how many can see it. But we also have Jimmy and Shelley Fair took the time to put all of the maps together. So there's a visual of all of the maps over there on that wall, from Glen Rose to Big Spring. So if you would like to look at the scale of what we're dealing with, that's it. We wanted to offer a meeting so that our friends, family, and neighbors could hear how they can be a part of this opposition as a citizen. We have a time for our distinguished guest to present the facts, and a time at the end where you can file your comment or intervener forms with us. Like, you can submit your forms to us. We have a team of volunteers that are going to help upload those, because you either can mail in your form, snail mail, or you can work with our team and they will submit it electronically, and you will be able to have the record of your submission should you choose to do that. We just need your contact information. There's a QR code over there, and there's different places around for you to be able to enter your information. We just need your name and your phone number and your email address. And if you know what route you're on, to tell us that. We just need to be able to contact you. So there's going to be a time for that at the end. So you can be able, we do have a template. If you need our help and you share your contact information, we have a template for testimony. We also have some information where we can show you the statement of position. Those are 2 required. You can either do one of the 2 of them, but they are required to go with your intervener form. That is them allowing you to tell your story on paper, because all of these are going to be in written testimony. There is nothing, unless they call you to testify, everything is written. And Joanna's going to go over that in just a little bit. But this is your chance to tell how this is going to affect you and your neighbors and your children. To start the meeting, I would like to welcome Erath County Judge Brandon Huckabee and Joanna Friebel. Erath County Judge Brandon Huckabee is here to share with us about what Erath County is doing as elected officials to represent us and to work with the Erath Summerville Sub-Regional Planning Commission. And Ms. Friebel is here as an advocate for landowners. She has a wealth of knowledge in how we can use our voice, what we can do and what we cannot do. I would like you all to welcome them, and I'm going to turn the mic over to them.
I'm not very good at that, so apologize. I will walk around and walk away from the microphone, but thank you for being here. What a great turnout. Emily wasn't sure how many people would show up, and I was at one of these, and Morgan Mill last Tuesday, and we had a big crowd, and so it's great to have another big crowd here again tonight. And so what I'm going to tell you about is what we're doing at Erath County as your Commissioner's Court, of what we've done, where we're headed, how you can be involved, how people already have been involved, and then give you some updates that Ms. Friebel will also give you about some important dates that are on here. But I've been working with Joanna. I think we were just talking about it. We've been in discussions about this since early spring of 2025 when they had the meeting that maybe many of you, I know it was one in, one out down at the senior center, went to. We immediately, that's the first time we had seen the maps as well. We have a very big communications project that's going on in Erath County for all of our first responders. So we immediately sent off to our engineering team, what would this look like with the tower locations, with the paths that were done? We did that. We got that back in June of 2025. We had a meeting with Encore on Zoom where we shared some of those details with them and went in depth and asked a lot of questions. Quite frankly, didn't get very many answers, which has been pretty common through this process. I know a lot of people think us as elected officials have a lot more information, but we just haven't. This is a very much a David versus Goliath scenario, and I don't have all the answers. I've got more than I had at that time, but since then we've had a meeting with Encore in person. We've had a meeting with the PUC representative, who is their government liaison, laid out our concerns, laid out our plans. They were received, again, asked a lot of questions. Didn't get many answers, but we're still working on that to this day. We formed the Erath County Commissioners passed a resolution in December of 2025 against the building of the 765 towers through Erath County, and sent that to the governor and our elected officials in Encore. And then we were a lot of communication back and forth. What can we do? We don't get to vote on this. The process goes through an administrative process, and ultimately the PUC commissioners pick which route that this goes on. But what can we do to have more say and local control in it? So a lot of homework, a lot of research went into it, and we have since formed the Erath Somerville Sub-Regional Planning Commission. It's a word, it's a mouthful, but with our friends in Somerville County. What that allows us to do is Local Government Code Chapter 391, not to bore y'all to death with local government code stuff, but it allows us to have coordinated meetings with state agencies. And it is backed by case law where they have to do that. So we got to work forming what is now called the Erath Somerville County Sub-Regional Planning Committee. We got that established by resolutions in February, had our first meeting in March. We've been meeting every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and we'll continue to meet throughout the month of March and so on every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, where we have developed a policy that I don't have to put online, developed a policy against the power lines going through Erath County. We've used great research from Cindy Shipman sitting here. We've used great research from a lot of people that are in this crowd that have told us about specific issues that are directly on your land, whether those are cemetery issues, native or endangered species, environmental type stuff, that we've wrapped into a policy guideline as we have, as of today, officially sent out, well, they will actually go out in the mail tomorrow, official demand letters to the Department of Wildlife, the U.S. Fish and Game, Encore, and the PUC to come to Stephenville and have meetings with our commission. So stay tuned for the dates of that. We're looking at multiple dates based on how they get back to us. So I don't have those dates that I can share with you now, but we will be posting that and disperse that everywhere we can. As a county, we have 2 land parcels that are inside in the affected areas. We have voted as a court to be an intervener on those 2 pieces of property through the legal method. And then we are still in talks with legal counsel, and we have it as an agenda item for Monday to further intervene as Erath County as a whole into the legal process with the help of some of our legal team there. There's a lot of intricacies to this to make sure that we're working together with the 391 and have a really coordinated attack. The 391 has been successful in Mason County in subdiverting these. It's also been successful in Waller County on a project with TxDOT. So we're throwing everything we can at this in a legal sense to put up roadblocks and create timeline delays, cost analysis for requiring further engineering and everything that we can. So we're going to continue to work as hard as we can. We are the only 2 counties on this line from Glen Rose to Pecos that have formed a 391 to fight against this. So we're going to continue leading the pack. I talked to a lot of my colleagues in different counties around this and communicate with them on different game plans that they're asking what we're doing. And I owe a lot of that to Joanna and our commissioners that have worked and been game planning since we've been made aware of this to intervene. And it's not just move it from one route to another. It's to not come through Erath County. It's not a win for us if they move it from one of the preferred lines to other. If it comes through Erath County, I'll take that as a loss to me, because that very early on in this, I got a lot of emails from the northern part of the county, the southern part of the county, and the middle part of the county. Well, you should voice your opinion. It should go there, or it should go there. That's not what we're doing. We're a unified front that we just don't want it coming through Erath County, period. We'd like the project. Quite frankly, the project doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I'm not in Austin making those decisions and voting on statewide policy. But my goal is representing everybody in Erath County. We don't want it in Erath County. We don't want to move to our neighbors' property in Erath County. One update we did have today, the city of Stephenville was invited to join the 391 commission and voted at their city council meeting tonight to join. So they will have 2 representatives on there as we just try to show Austin, the PUC administrative judges, that we are unified as one to continue to fight against this and go away is the ultimate goal for our standpoint. A couple of dates she's going to talk about and points I want to make, and Emily did talk about it. March the 23rd is the last day to intervene. It's Monday. So not a long time. She does have some experts. We've had, I think JoJo told me today, it was 27 people have came by our office. If you've got questions, we've helped 27 people fill out intervention forms. So feel free to come by. If you don't get it done tonight, the organization of this has been amazing, ramping it up so quickly. So take advantage of those resources. It's meant to be complex. It's meant to be confusing. It's meant to be frustrating to you. So utilize the resources that we have and make sure you get your intervention in by the 23rd. Testimony is due on the 8th of April. That date has changed a little bit. There are so many lawyers involved with this, filing motions to change dates and everything. It started as a 3rd. The latest update is the 8th. So I would still aim for the 3rd, and if you miss it, you've got an extra day or 2. I don't want to tell you to delay if there's any procrastinators out there to ensure that you have that testimony in and done properly so it doesn't get thrown out. And last, I'll leave you, and then I think we'll have some questions at the end. It doesn't matter if you're on the preferred route, any of these routes that go through here. And I'm not giving you legal advice by any means. File an intervention. Don't think because the preferred route is C3, ultimately the administrative judge and the PUC are going to decide whether this project goes forward or which lines it goes on. So make sure you file an intervention, protest, do your comments. I've been asked, can I intervene if I'm not in the shaded area? The legal answer is probably no, but make them kick you out. Make them do the work to find out that you're not in there. There are already, I think today I saw 75 new filings on there today, which took it nearly to 2,100 documents online. We're tracking that every day and looking at who is doing it. Let's add another 1,000 to them in the next 24 to 48 hours, where they have to go through their Encore team. Some of the pro people on this have to go through there and fight through the paperwork that's on there. So intervene, protest, make sure you do that. Even if you think that I'm down on D5, I'm not concerned. You should be concerned because we don't have anything to add to this except through this intervention process and the hearing process. That hearing date is set for May 4th through May 8th in Austin. Is when those dates are tentatively set according to the order. The only way that we have or the biggest way we have a say-so is intervening, protesting before then, and we're going to continue to fight. As a 391, we're going to continue to have coordination meetings and bring those entities to the table to answer questions about why they're trying to jump through loopholes here to there and really put their feet to the fire on the whole process as it goes through. So I appreciate all of you being here. My office is in the courthouse on the first floor. Always feel free to come by, say hi, yell at me, give me a high five, whatever you want. That's what I'm here for. But it's an honor to serve you. We are doing every legal method that we have available to fight this, including having conversations with our legislatures. If you pay attention to social media, that tide appears to be turning. I've seen several in the last 24 hours put out statements against it. That's where we make the big change. That's where we make the big changes in Austin, who voted for this plan several years ago. We make sure we don't make mistakes like that again. And what we can do is come together as neighbors, as friends, and fight against it to the best that we can. So without anything else, I'll hand it over to Miss Joanna, and then we will answer any questions we got at the end.
Good evening. I'm like Brandon. I've always wanted to stop this thing from the start. It needs to be stopped. It doesn't make any sense. Our second best is getting it out of the county, and we need you to help do that. We need everybody to intervene, not just the people with attorneys. We need you to do it as well. And, sorry. This is meant to divide the community. And let me tell you, I am so proud of you all for being here. You've no idea, because this has divided the community. Everybody wants to push it onto their neighbor, wants to push it somewhere else. And I know you don't. And you're here tonight to help with that. So thank you. Going on to the technical side of it, Brandon gave you the dates. We've got to Monday to intervene. And I want you to look at this in small steps, because it's overwhelming if you look at it all at once. The intervention's the first part. Get that done, get it done before Monday. That's that simple form. That's all you need to file. You don't need to file anything else, just a few comments on the bottom, but you do need to make sure when you file that, you have your line number, your track number, and the name as it appears on the front of your letter. That's very, very important. Numbers, names, and being particular on all of these forms is exceedingly important. Now, once we get that done, then we move to our testimony, and you don't need to do that with your intervener. You just need to do that form first. So the next date will be April 8th. Shoot for April 3rd because we don't know what's going to move on that. And there are several things there. You don't have the testimony? Okay. Okay. On the testimony, there are going to be several numbers on that. There's going to be a number which says SOAH, State Office of Administrative Hearing, and that has a number that needs to be on every page that you file. There is another number, PUC number, which is 59315. That's this line. That needs to be on every page that you file. I think you're going to collect emails, correct? So you're going to email that to everybody who wants it? Okay. So that's the second step. After that, we'll keep everybody that's got their email in, we'll keep you informed on what needs to be done next. Really, after the statement of position or the testimony, there's really not much for you to do until you decide to go to the hearing. Now, the hearings are going to be in Austin, in person, or on video conference, like a Zoom. But you do have to apply for that to be on the Zoom meeting. So that would be the third step. And I'm trying to think there's another step in between, but anyway, have your testimony ready. She will send it to you. It has a lot of points on there, it's in question form, and then you answer it. You need to make sure you've got your name, your address, that you're the landowner, or who you're representing. And if you're representing somebody else, you should have an affidavit, and we'll give those to Emily too, so you can fill that in if you have to represent somebody else, a family member or whatever. So what are we up to now? 4 steps, 5 steps? The hearing, like I say, is in Austin. The chances that they'll call you to speak are going to be slim to none. We have so many people on this line, they're not going to have time to talk to you and me and everybody else. The attorneys are going to talk for their people, and that'll probably be it. We probably won't be called. But your information is in there, and your information and your comments are in there too. And they do pay attention to a point. They make right decisions on these comments. So remember that your comments are important in what you say and what you put in there. And there are several different things that you'll put in. You put in about your land, how it affects you, how you use it recreationally, how it's going to affect you financially. If you've got to take cattle off a pasture to have that line go through, you need to say that. And it might be 6 months or a year, you've got to keep them off there. And how many people can afford to do that? So put in there how much it will financially cost you. And recreation, hunting, or whatever you do on your land. And also look at your land values. Talk to people about how much you think it will affect you. It can be 30 to 45% is what I'm hearing, that it will depreciate your land. And if it does go on your land, will somebody want to buy it? And if it's close to your home, they're not supposed to go 500 feet away from your structure. Well, that's almost in your backyard when you have a 200-foot tower in your backyard. So think of all these things, write them down as you're going along. You've got till April to do that. Get it in. And I'd like to see up to 3,000 people on that list. And let me tell you, I'm proud of you, because the other 2 lines that they're putting in, South Valleys to somewhere in West Texas, and then the other line is from San Antonio out to Fort Stockton. Those lines have 400 or 500 people on them. Here we are, we're over 2,000. So congratulations, and keep up the good work. Let's show them that Erath County has come together, and we're going to beat this thing. Thank you.
Thank you to our presenters for the information that they've shared with us. Now it's time for us to take the knowledge that we've gained and take action. We all have a voice, and it's our chance to use it in order to protect our land and our community. Every single person that received an Encore packet needs to file to intervene. If you're a concerned neighbor, please at least file a protest comment form and show your support of opposition. If we stay quiet, they think we don't care. We are here to make this process as simple as possible tonight to help you and help you fill out the forms and help you with filing of them. And let me tell you, this is just a group of neighbors, of people that are just like you and me, that want to be able to use their skill set to help the people that don't have that skill set to be able to have at their disposal. So please use the resources that we have tonight. If you would like to get this one step behind you tonight, please deliver your forms back there in the very back wall. There's going to be some ladies back there that are they're going to collect the intervener forms. So all the intervener forms are going to go to the back wall. If you want to submit comment forms, your comment forms are going to go at these two tables over here to my right. If you're not ready to do either one tonight, you're welcome to take your form with you. You are welcome to bring it to the Lingleville Country Store. They've been collecting those. Annette Johnson has been collecting those and entering that data. And so we have a spot there if you need to be dropped off there local, or you're welcome to go to Judge Huckabee's office. I've already spoken with his Chief of Staff, Jocelyn Perez, and Rachel Stevens, and we have a plan there to help everybody get everything filed so that we don't have a roadblock of them making things difficult for us, because we're going to work together and remove that. So I would like to thank those volunteers that have stepped forward for the best interest of us all. Feel free to take an extra form for you, for your neighbor, for anyone that's affected by this line. If you need us to email it to you, we can do that. All intervener forms can be dropped off. So you can either leave it tonight or leave it later. But the problem is we need you to do that by Friday if you need our help, because we're going to have to be able to get all of those done this week and over the weekend, because we do not want to push and be trying to meet deadlines on Monday, because you could have technology problems, you could have all kinds of problems, and we don't want an excuse of why we didn't get it done. So if you need our help, please let us know, and please get that to us in advance. The sooner the better. If you want to bring it tomorrow morning, that's okay. If you file to intervene and you need help with your testimony, so after you do your intervener form, then you're going to have to do a testimony, or you're going to have to do a statement of position, where it is literally you answering all of their questions in a letter: who you are, where you live, what you stand for, how it's going to affect you. The testimony form is electronic, so we can email that to you. You can be able to fill it out online, email it back to us. I have a program where I can request your electronic signature, so we can send it to you, you sign it, send it back in, and we upload it. I don't know that we can make it much easier. If we can, somebody can tell me and we'll do it. But the thing is, if you don't feel like doing that and you just want to handwrite your letter, then you can handwrite your letter and take it to the courthouse, and they'll scan in your letter however you feel comfortable, whatever level of technology and resources that you have. Please don't let that be an excuse. There is a comment section on the comment form, on the contact information form. So if you scan that QR, you can also, we're going to try to blast it out again. Our email, if you want to write down the email address and you don't want to find the comment form and all of that stuff, if our email is super complicated, it's no765kv@gmail.com. No, that's our position, and so that's our email. So if you want to email us and then just send us your name and your name and your address and your phone number, we'll have your email, and that way we can make sure that we can make contact with you. We're just going to build a massive database of all of those emails and blind carbon copy. We're not sharing your email with everybody. That's not the intention of this. I'm going to try to be super careful in protecting everybody's information. That's why we have a separate email, because we don't want somebody's personal email to be affected by this, or having contact information that they don't necessarily need in their personal life. So if you'll email us, we'll do that. But on that form, at the bottom, there's a comment section. I need you to write down what you need help with. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it's no765kv at gmail.com. Yes, K like kangaroo, V like Victor.
You said Gmail?
At Gmail. It's a Google mail. Okay, so back to the bottom of that form on the comment section. If you need help with a specific thing and you know that, please leave that in the comment. We are all in this together, and I appreciate all of your thoughts and I appreciate all of your comments, but that is not the place for you to tell me how you feel about this, because it takes up my whole spreadsheet. I had a lady that sent in like a whole paragraph, and it doesn't work in that form. I just need you to tell me what you need help with. So if you need help with your intervener form, you need help with your testimony, you need help with, you don't know how to make this work, or your neighbor needs help, then send us their information and we can contact them directly. Andrew Grimm is one of our volunteers. He's literally like gone to house after house after house. There's probably many of you that he's visited with. The same with Jimmy and Shelley Fair, the same with Annette Johnson. There's been a lot of people that have put in a lot of work chasing people down. So if you are advocating for someone else, put that in the comment section, not your personal opinion, okay? The deadline to complete this task and to have us file the intervene form for us is going to be April 3rd. So if you need help, we need to be able to help you and you submit your information to us by April 3rd. Because as you look, there's sitting down for 250 people. Then we had 40 chairs brought in, and you have a line of people around. And if every single one of those people, that'll put us at 350 people maybe. That's a lot of people that are going to need help. And so we can't overwhelm our staff on a last minute. We're going to have some time. So if you need our help, April 3rd is your deadline. I would like to thank Judge Huckabee and Ms. Friebel for being here tonight. And thank you to all the volunteers. If you shared this message on Facebook, if you stood up and advocated for your neighbor, if you showed up to operate the presentation, if you are live streaming for us and took on the additional cost of having the camera and this microphone, and to the Erath County Volunteer Fire Department that allowed us to use their speaker system, the City of Dublin that allowed us to use their presentation board. I mean, the list goes on what we can do when we all pull our resources and work together on a unified project. And so I just want to thank all of those people, the ladies and gentlemen that showed up this evening and that are going to help process forms, for using that skill set. Also, I was trying to prepare for today, and I didn't decide to do this until last Tuesday after the 2:00 meeting. So I got approval on Wednesday, and it went off. And this is what the result is of people wanting to have a voice. And so I would like to thank Lingleville ISD for the use of the facility. Also to First Financial Bank and Citizens National Bank, because as you can see, if we're all going to be filling out forms, we had to have a lot of pens. So they all donated pens today. So thank you to those banks to give us the ability to fill that in, because there is not a place in Stephenville you can buy 400 pens in one day. And so thank you for that. And thank you all for being here. Please do not leave here and do nothing. The future of our area, our land, our health, if you haven't researched what these lines can do to our health, and our children's education. When you start talking about property values going down, and right now the public funding, taxpayer dollars is what's funding public education. When public education has already taken a hit, those kids are our future. Those kids are the way that public school for some kids is the only opportunity they have. For us, sometimes public school is the only opportunity we had. And so we have to make sure that for the future of every single thing, we don't know what the trickle-down effect of this is going to be. I sure didn't think about it being for my 7th grader, that by the time he's older, that all the agriculture around here could be gone because there's not a way to support it, because it's affected everything we've done. So think about that for your children, for your grandchildren. Everybody can be affected, and there's no way to know the full effect that this can have on the place that we call home. So I would encourage you to please grab forms. I think there's probably still some more forms up here. The ladies are going to go. Ladies, if y'all turn on the lights, Tyler. They're going to turn on the table. If y'all want to look at the map, you're welcome to look at the map. Other one. And so if you're commenting, you're going to go over here to my right. If you're going to intervene, you can go to the left. The last thing I have, is there anyone that has a question? Okay, I was prepared for that. So I have a microphone over here. So if you have a question, you can come over here so that we can have it on the feed.
If your land is owned by FLP, where there are multiple members of your family that are owners.
Hold on. Out of respect for everybody, let's keep it to a lull right now.
If your land is owned by an FLP and there are multiple members that have ownership in that FLP, can every one of those people file an intervenor form? Or is it only one per legal entity?
Yes, I would go with one per legal entity.
Okay, that's my question. If I've already sent my intervenor form in, but my land's in, it asks for my name, first name, last name, but my land's in a LLC or a trust, now what? You see, redo it?
When you send it in, you send it in with your name on it,
With my name.
With
It
your-
said name,
but on the front of your paperwork, it said the LLC.
you know,
Go back and refile it.
okay,
And
redo
with
it.
the LLC, exactly like it shows on the front of your package that you got.
Okay.
And include the line link number and the track number as well.
Okay.
And then it's-
I'm asking this question mainly so everybody can hear it, but I think I already know the answer. The answer is, if you're thinking about whether you want to file an intervenor versus a protest, you can't file them both. You need to file, your land is on the line, you need to file an intervenor so that you're part of the case, so that your comments matter. If you want to just file a protest, you don't have to have land on the line or anything else. You file a protest all day long. But there's a special file that all the protests go in. It's gonna be a nice round basket over here. It's gonna go right in that. And nobody's ever gonna look at it again. So if you're on the line or you think you're anywhere close, or you got one of those packets, you need to file your intervenor, correct?
That's correct. The thing is, once you file an intervenor, you're in the legal process. If you file a protest, you're in file 13.
Right.
So
The other thing is,
basically-
if you have multiple parcels of land under different people, like Mr. Myers was asking about, you know, I've got one in a family trust. Okay, that's certain land. I've got one right beside it, my personal name. That's a different parcel of land. You need to file under both. You should have gotten a packet on both, but I'll tell you, from my experience, they didn't. They just piled them into one packet. So if you got multiple pieces of land under different names, you need to get in the process for every single one, just so you can add to the numbers. Just
Right.
FYI.
Can family, friends, and anybody else, Facebook friends, file as protesters, or does it have to be people in this area?
Anybody can file as a protester. If you've got family out of state, whatever, go ahead, tell them to file it. Go ahead, anybody can protest.
I just purchased my land about 6 months ago, and I only got the package last week because they sent me my old Fort Worth address. So when I'm filling out the intervention form, I need to include the Fort Worth address on there like it was on the package.
I would, well, if it doesn't go to that
I
address,
still own that property, I have the mail over here, but like I said, I just got my package last week.
I would put an address correction, say address correction, and then put that on the intervenor.
I feel I'm the only one that's had this problem, but I'm on the line, but I have not received a letter, a packet, or anything from PUC. I called a couple of weeks ago, they said it's in the mail.
Do you know what that track number is? Is it 26? What you should do, even if you didn't get the package, just go ahead and, while I was an interviewer, say the line number, which is what, C3? C3, put the track number 2629, your name and address, put it on there, and say, put on the bottom, I did not receive a package. They need to know.
That is a question.
One second, I do want to mention to everybody, when we do have the coordinated meeting that we're setting up with the different state agencies, we need you to show up. We need you to be there. We need maximum pressure on these organizations, and they walk in, Texas Parks and Wildlife, U.S. Game and Fish and Game, Encore, and the PUC, if we get them here. We need you all to be there. So I don't have the details on where that's going to be yet, because we're trying to find a place that's big enough that can stream it. But we need maximum amount of people there to show them that we're united and that we're working together. So wanted to make sure I said that. Emily, if we get your email address, social media, we're going to try to get that out everywhere we can, word of mouth, neighbors, but we need everybody there once we get those dates back from those organizations and get those meetings set.
Judge Humphrey, the C2 line cuts right across the College Farm. Charlotte, I was just wondering if you'd be able to talk to Carlton or work with Carlton any way that they may be helpful.
That's an ongoing conversation, so unsure yet.
Damage this transmission line is, what about a solution for have portable nuclear power plants that can not contaminate us? They have, the Permian Basin, the Dinosaur switch all the way forced in. For these tech oligarchs that are doing this, it's not for our good. It's for this data center. And my question is, they've got the money to do it. Why do they keen on us rather than put their own facility over there, their own nuclear, instead of tacking on that? How much does it cost them to like that line? What do they spend over? I just don't understand.
Welcome to the crowd. And part of our policy position for the 391 is a solution, not to just be against everything, but solutions is local dispatchable transmission and power as part of the state plan. Again, I'm elected to represent Erath County, but we've made that known and are making that known, so part of our commission. I have talked to Judge Holm. She asked if Eastland County is doing anything. Judge Holm, your county judge, I have spoken to him. We are not in the same larger regional COG. We're in the more central Texas regional COG. So we couldn't partner with Eastland or Comanche County in our 391. So I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but I have spoken to Judge Hole on. We can file that for anybody.
I represent a cemetery association. We did not receive the packet. I understand that it went to an address that's no longer used. So how do we find the trash number and the proper numbers that we need? And also, is the name used, is that going to be an officer of the cemetery association, or the president needs to fill it out? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And so what I just gave you, Cindy Shipman and our Erath County Historical Commission did, I don't know how she got it done in 7 days, but from last Tuesday to this Tuesday, created that whole document with GPS coordinates for the cemeteries that we have on file, and she can help you if it's one of those that's in there. And let us know if it's not. We'll help with that.
Hi, I'm trying to find anybody else on C3 with an attorney. If there's anybody else here on C3 with an attorney, our attorney is trying to connect with those attorneys. So if that's the case, just meet me at the door.
They work for us, and so we can get all this filled out here.
Yes, he asked if the documents were the same in Comanche County, as long as it's on that same CCN. I've got some of the acronyms. As long as it's on that, these forms will work if you need to fill that out for those counties. Yes, ma'am.
If you have any questions about a cemetery, Cindy did create a list. She's the Erath County Historical Chair, and so she did create a list of endangered cemeteries in Erath County and showing the route that are close to those cemeteries. So if you have family in a cemetery, you have questions about that, and you have the contacts, please, there's 9 more of these copies, and I can email you more if you need them.
I will also state for Cindy that if you have a cemetery on your property that is not known about, it's okay. Let her know so that she can get that documented for her work that she's doing for this. Yes, ma'am.
We have property in Erath.
Quiet, please.
We have property in Erath and Comanche County, and I'm kind of working with the Pentecostal Trail Indian tribe. It's a Comanche Nation, and they're actually wanting to have any kind of record that someone has any burial grounds, any artifacts that they have found, because they're going to be using that as some kind of
Information for testimony.
well, and I really think that we need to throw the kitchen sink at this. You know, if you, any kind of cultural environment, or anything that you can come up with, we need to go with that.
Amen.
But one
one thing I was going to say was if you're interested in the Minnetonka Trail, you can contact the ladies at the De Leon Historical Museum and it's downtown at De Leon. And they've got a committee that this is from Early and San Saba, De Leon, Desdemona, and this trail is going to kind of follow the Texas Sports Trail.
Thank you, ma'am. If there are no, you got one more.
I was wondering if anybody knows if the Middle Trinity Groundwater Conservation District has been contacted about all of this and what shallow groundwater concerns there might be.
So Patrick has been at one of our meetings, and I don't have any analysis from him on that. But that is something that our commission, the 391, is looking at every aspect that we can look at through the Paluxy River bottom, the Bosque River, and water contamination and things like
My
that.
specific concern is that there is groundwater in my particular area. We hit groundwater with 35 feet. My neighbor's property, they have a underground pipeline of dairy sewage, I'm assuming it's raw, that is piped from a dairy over to my neighbor's property that's irrigated for coastal field. That's all fine and good, it stinks, but it's muddy out there. We're in agriculture, I get it. But if they go into the ground, which I asked people in that first meeting, how deep are these gonna go? Anywhere from 50 to 150 feet, they really couldn't give me an answer, even the engineers. And if they're going into the ground 150 feet in my particular area, which is around Mount Grove, that's into the second Trinity. That's the lower Trinity. That seems alarming to me, but I'm not a water engineer.
Yeah. So a lot of an engineering question, they've done, what do we call it? They have not done a lot of engineering on this aspect except to find the routes that they want to do. So I've asked a lot of engineering questions, heights, depths, things of that nature. They don't have answers to that yet because once the route is picked, they start a whole new engineering process of phased engineering as they go along. So you're correct. That's one of the questions we've asked, and we've not gotten an answer for it because they don't have an answer for that.
Once we submit those questions, we should have an answer back in 5 days. We'll see what sort of answer they give us.
We are submitting as a request for information because we're an intervener. We are asking a lot of questions. We're supposed to have answers within 5 days. It's going to be a lot of lawyer jargon, no offense to lawyers, but we're working through asking a lot of those questions in a legal aspect and see what we can find out.
And who was it that had the cemetery?
Cindy is somewhere right around there. She's right around the corner.
She has dark hair and a flowered shirt.
All right. No questions. I just want
We
to
did need to tell them testimony does not have to be notarized.
testimony. I've been told testimony does not have to be notarized. Thank you all again for coming. Thank you to Emily and the volunteers that have put this together. She called me with this idea, and in 7 days to get 400, 350 people here with the back work she's done. It's been amazing. Stick together. Let's keep working on it. Call me with any questions. I think they may have one more.
So for those of you that don't have access to technology or email's not your thing, I don't have many, but I do have some hard copies of examples of how to write a testimony. If you want to grab one, there's some questions that you can type it up, you can handwrite it, but this is for those who just cannot do technology, so which I get. So that's me. Great, thank you.
Thank you all.